Hi. Welcome, and thank you for stopping by. I have no news to break. The reason I, Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly, and a lot of my colleagues are here is I think, you know, in conjunction with AWS, we're putting on a technology showcase around the game as we continue to try and advance what we already think is a very robust technological connection to the game, which will enable our broadcasters and our fans to connect even better to the game and have an even more robust experience. And that's why we're here. A little bit of meetings today, met with some business partners of the club, suite holders. This club is doing great. The support for the franchise in the city. Seattle's a great sports town. You know we believe that, A, because the team's here. B, we're bringing the Winter Classic here. And we're always excited to be here. But, you know, when you look at the support the team gets, you look at the attendance, the team's performance has dramatically improved. Let's see if I can get this statistic right. This is the best point turnaround for a second-year club by 28 points so far with 9 games to play. Number of wins from a turnaround. The previous record, we're one behind now, right, with 9 to play. Previous record was the 68-69 Oakland Golden Seals. And it's fun to watch, and it's fun to see the community's reaction to the club. And with that, I'm happy to take your questions. And if there's a question I don't like, I'll give it to Bill to answer.
We have a mic, so if you put your hand up,
And if you have no questions, it's okay too. I'm happy to see all of you and go watch the technology in the game.
Gary, since you mentioned Bill Daly, just like there's only been one NHL commissioner, there's also only been one NHL deputy commissioner. And I was hoping you could speak to how your working relationship has evolved over the years and why it's lasted so long.
Actually, that's a question we've never been asked before, and it's rare that that happens. Bill and I have been together for 26 years. Bill had done some work for the league prior to that when he was at Skadden. I think he was 32 when he joined me, and we have a very collaborative, close relationship. His intellect, his ability to work incredibly hard, his responsiveness, his way with people. I think, you know, we're in sync. I think we complement each other. Things I forget, he remembers. Things he remembers, I forget. I think I said the same thing twice. But seriously, at the end of the day, I think there's a mutual respect, and I think we complement each other. And I also believe we like each other, which may be more important than anything else. Okay. Was that the question Bill asked you to ask?
I have an interview with him in 2 weeks.
Oh.
I'm going to ask him. I'm going to play what you just told me.
Well, he's in the room, so he now knows what I said. So, and we're both very intuitive that way. No, it's good. I couldn't ask for a better running partner.
Again, regional sports networks have been in the news a lot lately, and there's some teams in this league that are directly impacted by some of the financial maneuverings of RSNs. I'm wondering whether the league has sought any assurances from the RSN that the entity that controls the Kraken's RSN, that they are going to continue to operate in full going forward.
Well, we've been assured by Diamond Bally's and by Warner Brothers Discovery that their regionals will certainly complete the regular season for us. I can't speak for what they'll do for other sports. We have a very good constructive relationship with both entities, and our goal is to try and be as cooperative as possible to keep them going. Having said that, they're going to get through the regular season, and while you can have side-by-sides for us in the first round, all our games are national once the playoffs start. So we're not concerned about making sure our fans have access to the games. Longer term, we hope they continue to stay around, and if not, we're working on alternatives, both in terms of distribution and what a business model might be. But we have the benefit of a little bit of time to seeing how all this plays out over the summer, because the Kraken's regular season is 9 more games. Fans should have no concern that they'll have access to the games, and after that, they'll all be national.
And Warner Brothers Discovery is a minority partner.
Yeah, well, actually, the Mariners are which is why this may be among the most stable of the regionals, because the Mariners are the principal owner, and I think having a winter sport, summer sport combination is ideal in terms of reaching fans in a particular market, and in a great sports town like Seattle. I think that's ideal. So this regional, I think, will withstand the headwinds.
If I can just follow up with one more.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of the fans, not only here but elsewhere in the NHL, they like to complain about blackouts and difficulties accessing games. And I'm just wondering, from a league perspective, how tight are your hands as far as things such as blackouts are concerned?
Well, the regionals have always insisted on exclusivity in their market, and so, well, the blackouts, are you talking about from the out-of-market package or in general? Because if you're in Seattle and you're a subscriber, you get the games. If the game's on nationally, you get the games. If you're out-of-market and you're a Kraken fan and you subscribe to ESPN Plus, you get the games. We think our setup is maybe the most fan-friendly that you can have, because we have ESPN, ABC, Disney on the one hand. We have Time Warner, formerly Time Warner, Warner Brothers Discovery on the other hand. There are some locally owned regionals, but for the out-of-market package, you can get all the games streamed on ESPN Plus, which, by the way, is more cost-effective in terms of all of ESPN Plus's programming than it was when we sold NHL.TV on a separate standalone basis. So when we went from NHL.TV to ESPN Plus, for half or two-thirds of the price, you got all the out-of-market games and all the other ESPN Plus programming. So we think for fans it was very friendly. Anybody else? Front row.
Commissioner, the past few weeks, there's been a lot written and said about some of the things surrounding the Pride Nights.
Yeah.
I believe you addressed it in Ottawa that said that we would evaluate or reevaluate at the end of the season. A couple of things. What might that involve? And two, will it ultimately be up to the league or the clubs as to whether they want to continue going forward?
Well, it's always been a club-determined issue. If a club wanted to hold, most of our clubs, if not all, I think most, have Pride Nights. I don't think, despite all of the attention it's been getting about the uniforms and warm-ups, overwhelmingly our league and our teams support Pride Night and what it stands for. Overwhelmingly our players support it, but there are some players, not most, far from it, that have made personal decisions and personal choices, and you have to respect that. And there's an issue or a distinction between respecting something and endorsing it. But let's not lose sight of the fact that this league and our clubs have been overwhelmingly supportive of the LGBTQ plus community and issues, and will continue to be. And the fact that overwhelmingly our players support it is something that I think has been getting lost in all of the noise around this. Some players choose to make choices that they're free to make. Doesn't mean that they don't respect other people and their beliefs and their lifestyles or who they are. It just means they don't want to endorse it by wearing uniforms that they are not comfortable wearing, and that's an individual choice ultimately, and it's a balancing act. But please don't let that aspect of it let you conclude that there is an overwhelming support.
You mentioned the bond developing between the community here and the Kraken. What do you anticipate with the playoffs upcoming, and how important is it for a franchise in have the playouts and be able to sort of cement that bond?
This is going to require a longer-winded answer than you probably anticipated. No, because most expansions historically in all the major sports have been granting a team talent levels that aren't competitive sometimes for as long as a decade. Based on the system that we have where all of our teams have an opportunity to be competitive, some teams better run, better luck, however you want to do it, than others, the expansion we did to Vegas and the expansion we did here were intended to make the clubs competitive very quickly. Vegas, obviously, in its first year, and this team in its second year. And I think it's consistent with a system in a league that wants to have as many teams as competitive as possible. I think it's a testament to Ronnie Francis and the whole organization's ownership supporting it, that he was able to do what he felt he needed to do in the expansion draft. Made a lot of changes from last season. Even if there weren't a lot at this trading deadline, there was still a lot of change in personnel. And you have a competitive team. And I think fans are excited to see that. And if you've never seen playoff hockey up close and personal, particularly in person, you're in for a treat as a fan, because particularly our first round, there's nothing like it in sports. In the back.
Commissioner, thanks for doing this.
Thank you for thanking me.
2 questions. One is state of the player tracking, puck tracking. Are you happy with the results to date? And then second is...
Well, let's do one at a time, because people keep making a big deal that I've been doing this for so long. I must be old, so I can't remember things. Player puck tracking is working great, and it's only going to work better. And some of the technology that we're going to use tonight is going to demonstrate how we can even make it a more involved, robust, compelling connection to our game. I don't know how many of you saw Big City Green. If you haven't, go YouTube it and see the fact that we could have our game animated, which is particularly compelling for kids, in real time, is a testament to how much it's working, how well it's working, and we think it's going to continue to improve. One of the things we're going to test tonight is skeletal and stick motion, so we can even make it more alike when we animate it or use it in other forms. So the puck and player tracking, what we call NHL Edge, has been terrific. It was long time in development, but it works well, and it's even going to be more compelling in terms of what it's going to be able to deliver.
Just to follow up, anything else in the tech horizon that you're excited about, the group's excited about, that's not about?
Well, no, I think digitally enhanced dashboards are off to an incredibly great start. The feedback we're getting, particularly from the advertising community, is great. It works well, and that's going to get more robust over time too, because over time what we're going to try and do is get to a point where we can program it the same way the video board for game presentations is programmed. And so when there's a goal, it can go goal. It can have the player who scored the goal on it. There's going to be more and more we can do. You know, technology keeps evolving. We've tried to make sure we're on top of the evolution and not only stay current, but be on the cutting edge. And we do that by using the technology around the game, not changing the game for the technology, and that's been our mantra. Anybody else? Going, what?
On the topic of growing the game, I'm curious, how much does the league pay attention to youth participation, things like that? And if you do pay much attention to it, what kind of impact have you seen the Kraken have?
What USA Hockey has told us is that when a hockey team, an NHL team, comes to a market where it hasn't been, there's an explosion. And my understanding is the training facility up the road with the rinks is seeing robust participation, and kids, particularly young kids, are seeing hockey played up close, and they want to play the game. And we love that because we love the values of the game: teamwork, leadership, diligence, physical fitness. These are all life skills, and the fact that kids, young kids, gravitate to our game is terrific. And yes, I can't give you the numbers right now. I'm sure the Kraken have it, but I guarantee you, since the team was granted and is here and the rinks have been built, participation has grown dramatically. Okay. Enjoy the evening, and thank you for taking the time to join us.